When the military band played for Harry S. Truman's vice presidential inauguration, it seemed to show more enthusiasm than he did. Truman had been pushed into the position by the Democratic Party. Many assumed that Truman would be another forgettable vice president, quietly fulfilling his duties in the shadow of the popular and charismatic President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. But history changed course.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin from CBS World News. A press association has just announced that President Roosevelt is dead. The president died of a cerebral hemorrhage.
Roosevelt's death left the nation stunned and uncertain. For Truman, the news was both a shock and a burden. In his previous 82 days as vice president, he had only met with Roosevelt twice. He hadn't even been told that America had developed an atomic bomb. Now, as president, his political mettle would be severely tested. Truman had spent 10 years in the Senate and had made a name for himself by aggressively investigating corruption in the defense industry. He was well versed in domestic issues, but knew very little about foreign policy. Many thought him too stubborn and plain-spoken to govern the United States. But Harry S. Truman rose to the challenges of the presidency. His legendary honesty and determination gained him respect. He was willing to make hard decisions and take responsibility for them. His motto, "The buck stops here." That was never more true than in his order to use atomic weapons against the Japanese. His decision brought an immediate end to World War II.
I deem this reply a full acceptance of the Potsdam Declaration, which specifies the unconditional surrender of Japan.
Japan's surrender was cheered in the streets. But it didn't mean everyone was coming home. Some troops were ordered to stay overseas to rebuild shattered nations and protect against communism. Public reaction was so swift and negative, Truman reversed his order and called for rapid demobilization. Relieved soldiers were sent home only to find a struggling post-war economy. 10 days after Japan's surrender, 1 million defense workers were laid off. With no war, the Pentagon rushed to cancel billions of dollars in war contracts. Scores of eager GIs arrived home ready to work, but the jobs at factories and shipyards were already gone. One bright light for returning military men and women was the Serviceman's Readjustment Act, also known as the Montgomery GI Bill. It provided low-interest loans, granted veterans unemployment benefits, and subsidized educational expenses. The GI Bill made a college education available to millions who otherwise couldn't afford one. The assistance dramatically expanded the middle class and served as a catalyst for tremendous social change.